So interestingly enough, and I'm wondering why people don't ask me this more often. They say, how do you become a conservative black man in central Massachusetts? And so it did start actually mostly with my faith.
Mm.
But then it kind of went to, I joined the military because, it's an honorable, back in the mid 80s, it was an honorable thing to do. Nobody had a problem with it, you know. Well, I shouldn't say nobody had a problem with it, because when I went into college, I went through ROTC. So I was actually a commissioned officer for 15 out of the 20 years. I retired as a captain. And I would have stayed in because I retired at 37. I could have stayed in probably another 23 years if I wanted to. But what had happened was that and this is funny because it makes sense now to what everything is happening now. But when I was in college, I was hanging around. I was a theater kid. I was hanging around. I was theater. That was my major, was my passion. To this day, I still love the theater. I love film, just as an artistic outlet. And I was working on a show, and I was in the technical, not the technical, the theater. I guess it was the technical director's office, and which was at the front of the theater at Salem. They've renovated it now, so everything's changed. But they had, but there was the office is at the front of the auditorium, and I had he wasn't a teacher, but he was a staff member. So he was and we were all close, so we were all on first name basis, and but he comes up to me, and we're standing there, we're talking about other stuff, and he says, "What are you involved in that thing for? Like I'm involved in like a booger." And I'm going, "What do you mean?" And it's like, "Well, ROTC. Why do you do that?" And I'm looking at him, and I saw his attitude, and it really kind of struck me the wrong way. And I said, "Well," I said, "they're paying me $200 or $230 a month to be here, to learn from you and these guys, in the theater. If you got a better way to pay for this, I'm all ears,"
Right.
or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of me realizing, I said, you know what? I don't think these guys really get me. The theater people are supposed to be, we accept everybody, and we, we're tolerant everybody. The theater people, and don't get me wrong, I still love them. There's a few, one of my, I think it was last year, one of my professors finally retired. I went up there, wished him well. It was a great time. And so I love these people. Whatever issues I had, I've forgiven and forgotten many years ago. But I never forgot that incident, and the fact that they weren't even close to being tolerant. I got more acceptance and tolerance for being a theater major from the ROTC guys than I ever did from my theater people. And I'm like, okay. And by nature, theater people are pretty far to the left. They're pretty liberal and everything. And there's a lot of stuff that they were they were anti-gun, and it's kind of like, well, everybody should have the right to protect themselves as long as thinking people had common sense, which apparently nowadays they kind of don't. But
yeah, right.
And and so that was kind of the beginning of me becoming this conservative.